Thick skin. Thick skin of a Magic player.
All right, I think we're a little stop and go right now, but we are live. Yeah, we're live. I am CoDameron. I am here with, who am I here with?
Oh, Greg. Greg, I play under the name Greg W.
Yeah, Greg W is a good player in one of our local metas in New Jersey. And we're here in the top cut round one, so the top 25. These players are playing for their chance to have a power level 5 deck.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, Andrew is a player from our New York meta. Steve is another great player that I met today. They're both 5-1. This is the first round, so we're getting right into it. I know the timing's a little bit tricky, but let's talk about their decks.
So was that, could I ask a quick question? Was that double Mars Needs Ember that he played on the first turn there? I wonder if he's got a way to get it back, because that's one of my favorite new Mars cards for control, but it's not going to help him if it's in his discard.
Well, if he draws them early, he may or may not have taken a mulligan, but, I mean, you definitely play them. It's 3 Amber when you consider the ray gun as well.
True, true.
I'm not holding those cards for anything soon. But what I am worried about is, will Andrew use that Tesmal well? Will Steve let it live?
Actually, seed there. Never mind. I take my comment back.
So yeah, the seed is actually a nice way to get back the Mars Needs Amber, really any tool that Steve might need. And that's a mean play. The Nature's Call, the Dare Everywhere. Okay, so let's slow down.
Sure,
I need to slow down a little bit. This game is already getting pretty quick because there's a lot of very big cards coming out of Steve's deck right now, and we have a huge turn. We have Seed, Dusk Witch, Nature's Call, and they're everywhere. That's a fantastic Untamed lineup.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's got a fistful of Untamed too. I saw a spider that stuns.
I know that guy. His name is Spider with Y's.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, sorry. The Ika the spider.
Oh, Inka the spider.
Yeah, Inka. Yeah.
He's also very good. I like Inka a lot because he has poison as well.
Yeah.
But only 1 power and not skirmish. So Andrew here is sitting in a weird spot against a Dusk Witch with no options to actually get it off the table. Andrew's fine. It's just 1 turn of a Dusk Witch, which might be enough for Steve to actually pull really far ahead. This is really just a perfect turn for Steve on turn 2, coming out with all the answers to Andrew's board. But Andrew didn't really have an answer to a Dusk Witch even before the Nature's Call.
And he could even I think he's gonna. I wonder if he'll seed that Nature's Call, bounces creatures back, and get an extra turn of Dusk Witch out.
That would be dirty. I would be upset to see that turn come in.
I think he forgot the Dusk Witch existed.
So yeah, the cards are coming in. They're coming in ready. Okay,
there you go.
Andrew,
that was nice of his opponent.
No, that's mandatory.
Yeah.
But it is.
Right.
I guess it's a courtesy.
So he doesn't actually even have to. He'll stun them.
Let's talk about this Grove Keeper. This Grove Keeper is doing a ton of work, buffing the Spider and the Dusk Witch. Is there a world where you try to put that Grove Keeper anywhere else? No, right? Like that's where it goes.
Yeah, because you're gonna want to push the Untamed, I think, right? You could think maybe you'd want to buff the Human, but if you got the advantage in Untamed right now, why not go with it?
Right. Now he didn't use the Seed. I like this play.
Seed would have gotten him up to 6 though, wouldn't it? But
the reason he didn't use it is he had the Spider. The Spider
that's true.
with
he doesn't
the play and the Reap both get a stun.
That's true.
So he doesn't need to get the bonus stun out of. He doesn't have to get Andrew's creatures off the table. They're not threats because they're stunned.
Yeah.
And
he could have bounced Abe the Grim and gotten up to 9 there, but maybe he's anticipating some sort of doorstep or something like that.
I think he's just in total control of this game and not currently worried. And Andrew's trying to figure out how long he can let this Dusk Witch live.
Yeah.
But Andrew need to play? Would you say Andrew needs to play threats right now to handle the Dusk Witch, or play cards to draw for answers, maybe a direct kill spell for the Dusk Witch? What would you do?
Oh well, actually, here you go. He banished the Dusk Witch. That's probably a good move, I think.
Call the week.
It was Call the Week.
Call the Week and banish the Grove Keeper, which is fine because it doesn't have a playability. Not banishing the Agent Human is an interesting choice. He is stunned, but he has an upgrade. Is there a world where you banish the Agent Human?
I think I would try to split the houses here. So he's got one Untamed, one Mars. I think that's a pretty decent strategy. Especially if he can maintain that Tesmal out, he could lessen the effectiveness of one of the two houses.
Yeah, I think that's my play as well.
Because you got to figure your opponent has a bunch of stuff in hand still that he hasn't played yet, so he's probably gonna. Okay, so he's gonna go Mars this turn.
You have to think that Andrew was lucky to draw both the Banish and the Call
I know.
Week.
Yeah.
Or you have to wonder why did he hold them for the turn, and decide to play out the Sanctum creatures? Was he trying to bait something?
Well, now we've got 2 Human out. That could potentially. Oh. Players maybe forgot about a stun there, but he's got 2 Human out, which could keep stunning that board if need be. All right, so we'll go to check.
Yeah, the Human reaps there, right?
Yep.
Did he reap?
He did. No, he was stunned, so he just removed the stun.
There you go. That's why.
But basically, yeah. So I think maybe you're going to be stuck with Mars or with going Dis here to stop Mars. Otherwise, he's going to be stunning 2 creatures a turn and doing 4 damage a turn to somebody.
Ooh.
So he's just going to whittle that board down.
That's a really good point on the Red Planet ray gun. That's a ton of efficiency.
I think he's got to go. You got to go Dis here and got to stop. Otherwise, I think the game's over. I don't want to call it now, but the game could get out of hand for Andrew if he doesn't stop a Mars turn here.
Honestly, the game was out of hand for Andrew when he didn't get the Deathquark.
That's true.
The Nature's Call from Steve. It turns out when you have Nature's Call, Nepentine Seed, and a Deathquark in the same turn, you have a really good turn.
Yeah, and a really good deck.
So I'm wondering, what can Andrew do to catch up? I don't think he's lost this game or out of it, but he's certainly not winning right now, right?
No. You got to find a board wipe in there somewhere.
I don't know if that's a full answer. No, I don't think that's enough of an answer. I like this. Too much to protect. Gives him an Amber on Brand and then steals it back.
Well, now
too
I
much
would
to
definitely
protect.
next turn I would definitely. Well, if you can get him off check here, I would definitely board wipe for Brand the Fanatic the next turn.
I think that a board wipe is gratuitous. If I have a targeted kill for that Agent Human with the ray gun, I'm happy. I think that's enough to make me happy.
Fair enough.
And
he'll forge.
And that throwing star is really sad here because the fixed finger actually giving a bunch of armor to the Humans.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. I wanted to make a comment about that with the Grove Keeper. So when the Grove Keeper didn't buff up that Agent Human, that means that it's still in range of things like Nerve Blast or any 2 damage ping.
Sure.
But when Steve plays down the fixed finger, it gets armor. And that armor is making those Humans a lot harder to kill.
So he's on Shadows here this turn, it looks like.
And honestly, they're each tied on Amber.
Yeah.
And Andrew does have a little bit of Amber captured, so it's not quite tied, but the Brend is going to steal a bunch when he dies.
Yeah.
That seems good. Steve with a bunch of good cards in this deck.
Still Oh, okay, he's going to bounce. He's going to bounce Brend.
Oh,
rough.
That's very rough. That's a lights out, and he has the Nature's Call.
Yeah. Oh.
This is
And he'll miasma too. Jeez. Oh. Gross.
The tempo that Steve is pulling out of this deck is insane.
I am surprised. I've been surprised at how fast some of these AOA decks are. Oh, here goes Abe again.
Would I consider this a racing deck? I think not.
No.
This is really doing a lot of good board control things in this deck, right?
Yeah.
There's all of the bounce, there's the recursion, there's rewards for having this board control, like these Humans and the Dusk Witch and the Ink of the Spider. If they stick around, your opponent's board gets stunned. And then he has the double Mars needs Amber, which wasn't a huge factor this game. I mean, not yet.
No.
But I think there's enough in this deck to take advantage of that.
I think now watching this game, I think if I see my opponent play 2 Mars needs Amber first turn and get no capture out of it, I'm going to be worried about what's in the rest of their deck. If you're just playing a card like that for Amber, that's kind of scary. Oh, all right, just a single Swindle.
I do not like Swindle, but this is a great time to use it. He's ahead on board.
Yeah.
He's getting Andrew off of check. He's putting himself in check.
Yep.
That is a swindle that does
nice swing.
everything it needs to do.
Yep.
If you're behind on board and play swindle, I say no. If you are not getting yourself to check and playing swindle, I say no.
Yep.
If you're not taking your opponent off of check and playing swindle, I say no. He did all 3 of those things, so I think that's a perfect use of swindle, as much as I hate the card.
Yeah, I mean it's a swing card. It's a swing card as much as old bait and switch was a swing card. Potentially, situationally, even more.
Those were the days.
Yeah,
Bait and switch for 4. Keep rolling. No, thank you. And Andrew still has this Abe that is just holding more amber for Steve.
Yeah. So he could take him off check if he plays Bourdain, but that's just going to be a band-aid unless he's got some. I think he's got to tap into his disc pool. I don't know what's in his disc pool, but I'm hoping he's got some Schulers or a Charette or something that he could pull out.
That made my heart pump a little bit. I thought he was conceding.
Oh,
he was asking for the discard pile. Okay. Okay.
One key. Wow.
Let's talk entire card pool.
Sure.
What is the thing that Andrew needs? And I don't think the answer is just an unlocked gateway. It needs to be bigger than that. I want to see Andrew play a Lash.
That would help.
I think Andrew needs some very durable, consistent things that will stick on the board. Andrew has played no artifacts this game, and neither really has Steve, besides that Seed, which is just terrifying. But if Andrew could do a turn that involves Poltergeist Lash, I would be very happy about it.
Maybe he's got a Maverick Heart of the Forest.
I don't subscribe to that newsletter. I don't like that play. But yeah, this is looking real rough for Andrew.
So I'd like a proclamation here. Actually, that would force him to go Shadows next turn, or well, he could just forge more. But
you know what? Saying I want a proclamation is like, of course you do. But actually, proclamation is the perfect card to play here. Steve is at 7. It lets Andrew take a little bit of time to play a bigger Sanctum board. I think having a Sanctum board is a real play for Andrew.
So he will go board in. So he'll discard 1.
And he'll get his value.
Yeah.
He better play a card. No.
Oh no. Well, maybe he's sitting on like a doorstep or something like that.
He already played is too much to protect.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe Andrew very well could have gotten through this tournament with a very strong Brend, too much to protect plays. You can see that he was familiar with the combo. You give them more amber, then you too much to protect it away. But man, Andrew. Oh, you know what? The Brend is in his hand.
The Brend is in his hand. That's right. So.
And he couldn't play it this turn because he probably wasn't able to kill it. So maybe if he draws Life for Life, I would be really happy with that play. Because Life for Life would handle a lot, at least some things on Steve's board.
I mean, I think you get rid of that Human with the Red Planet Ray Gun, obviously, or maybe Flick's Finger if you want to set up for a bunch of Nerve Blasts or whatever you might have lying around.
Oh no! Total Recall is going to return all ready creatures to Steve's hand, I think.
Yes.
And it's just as good as Reaping with those creatures, but it also puts Inkay back in his hand. All creatures back to his hand. But he gets an amber. He gets 1 amber for each ready creature. He wanted to Reap with the Human to get the stun and the damage from the ray gun. But I guess he wanted the. I don't know why he didn't Reap with the other Human. I guess that would have been fine. But the Total Recall play is a big. And the Carpet Flotsam. That's why he didn't need to Reap with the other guy.
Yeah. Wow.
I've talked about that combo before, but I've never seen it pulled off so effectively.
That's great.
Getting your board clean and then playing Carpet Flotsam is a really good way to have a one-sided board wipe with no chains and a bunch of amber.
And and he gets all the control back. He gets the 2 Human back. He'll stun, any 2 creatures that are coming out.
So Andrew needs another. There it is. Oh, right.
Oh, man. Tell me he's got a way to kill the Bren. Tell me he's got a way to kill the Bren.
No, I mean, that's still a huge play.
It's a huge swing.
That is exactly the sort of back and forth that Andrew needed. Wow. This game might not be over. Because Steve still only has 1 key. right? And Steve, we haven't seen him play. He's played as Mars Needs Amber. He played a Swindle. Both Mars Needs Amber.
Yeah.
Is there a world where he also has the Too Much to Protect? Yeah, but like...
Yeah, well, I mean, at this stage of the tournament, possibly.
That's a good point. At this stage of the tournament, then... And I want to shout out Andrew's little tokens. I really love those little things. Sometimes I lose track of them, but they look really nice when there's a ton of them. Right, you can actually still count how many there are. But Andrew has officially done all the work he needs to do to win this game.
Yeah.
He just needs to not lose this game for 3 or 4 turns.
He's got to, like you said, he's got to wonder how much control is left in Steve's deck.
Now Steve's board control looks a lot less efficient because what are you trying to control? The board control doesn't matter as much. And
he already played his miasma. Well, he may have more miasma.
What did he pop the seed for? Do you remember?
He popped the seed for carpet, I think, if I remember correctly.
For the carpet flotsam.
Yeah, I think it was in his discard.
That seems worth it to me.
Yeah.
At the time. Yeah, and I think Steve was doing that big push to win, which is the thing that I talk about. I mean, you have to push these advantages in sealed because what are the chances that Andrew has too much to protect? And right now, like that's not very likely. But turns out that Andrew had the juice. Wow.
So that'll put Steve at half a key.
Misery exploit for. Okay, Andrew just playing cards here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Play the Yerk, discard something.
He's got a. Oh, all right. That'll be pretty helpful right now.
Discards Whistling Darts on Yerk.
I think he forgot to forge. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're forging.
I bet he's trying. I think he's probably trying to cycle for or mill for something that can kill that Brend. Brend's stunned right now, so he has
a Nerve Blast.
He does,
which is only 2. But there's a world where he finds a Whistling Darts. I know there's at least he played one earlier. So maybe he has another?
Two Nerve Blasts. I think it's 2 Nerve
There
Blasts.
it is. That's a great play.
Oh my goodness.
That is 5 steal.
That is gross.
And kill your own Brend.
That is so gross.
That is exactly the answer that I wanted Andrew to have been digging for.
Yeah.
The Whistling Darts is nice, but the double Nerve Blast is just perfect.
Oh my goodness.
And let's talk about now. Andrew is playing a deck with 2 Too Much to Protect and 2 Nerve Blasts.
Well, but he's got to wonder what. Oh wow! Wait.
That's it.
Steve conceded.
Andrew pulls his second key off on that turn because he has 2 there, and then he gets the Nerve Blast in the Brend, and Steve has no Amber control. Steve played the board game the whole time, and Andrew just had the juice.
But Andrew was on 2 keys. Steve had 4 creatures out. Couldn't he have reaped up to 6?
Sure.
At least gone for it?
And then Andrew wins, going into his next turn.
Oh, you're right.
That's just it.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. What a turnaround.
Excellent swings by Andrew in that game.
Congratulations to Andrew, knowing his outs. And honestly, I think Andrew was terrified that game. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about his play. I think Andrew's biggest play was using Bordan the Redeemed to stop Steve's second key. And buying that 1 extra turn to dig a little more. He didn't even draw cards that turn, but he knew he needed that tempo. And I actually want to ask Andrew about that turn. I want to know because
at the time we were pretty confused. We thought, why is he not even looking for it?
I'm still confused.
But he knew, like you said, he knew his outs. He knew what he was going to be able to draw to, and he trusted in his deck. He trusted that he could get the
maybe
outs.
It's if he knows that he has more capture, that means his Too Much to Protect are that much more potent.
Yeah.
That's always been a very good strategy, is to capture a ton and then get your opponent to have a bunch of Amber, overcommit on Amber, and then you steal it all or doorstep it all away. I want to talk about Steve never pulled the banished. No, I'm sorry. The Deathquark got killed. She didn't get banished. Okay, but it didn't seem like Steve played Untamed after that Untamed board got wiped. He played Mars for most of the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he wanted to set up that big Mars play where he could wipe the board, put the creatures back out, and gain a huge lead. And I think at the time that was. I mean, he saw the cards in his hand. I think at the time that was the right play. That was a strong play. And maybe he wanted to save the seed for, he might have had enough creatures out there to take care of Abed anyway, but it was a good play. Whenever you can, wipe your opponent's board and put your board back out without any problems for the most part.
The other thing that I think happened there is Steve felt in control that entire game. We felt that Steve was in control. And Steve even had the big Amber plays. Really, Andrew was playing a long con because he knows he has the tools to do so, and lets his opponent get overconfident and reap to huge numbers and then just take it all away and win rather quickly. I have to go fix the camera. I'll be right back, but we'll get an interview in a minute.
Well, thanks for letting me do that, man. That was
Absolutely,
fun.
man.
Sorry for yelling.
All right, I'm here. Let me just make sure that my camera still works. It got a little bumped, but luckily it got bumped after the game. Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, I'm here. So one thing that is worth talking about is Steve is actually Strategic Dino. In Strategic Dino, he's a guy who makes a ton of fantastic tokens for this game. All right, we have Andrew here right now. We'll talk to Steve in a minute about that game, but I want to talk to you, Andrew. That game was nuts. Tell me about how that game felt for you during it, how it felt because of your deck. What was going through your head that game?
So I think the game would have felt bad if I lost it because I was so behind, and it also felt bad kind of winning it because I was so behind and drew the second too much to protect with like half of my deck left.
Yeah, so you knew you had the double too much to protect,
Yep.
right?
So too much to protect plus the nerve blast with Ren, so I can usually put you off a key. So
Yeah.
it can come from behind, but there was the one turn where I had 4 discs, 2 shadows, and then 2 Sanctum guys in play with Amber on it. So I'm like, okay, I played one too much to protect. Like, hopefully he can play into. He won't be playing around a second one. So I'm just gonna capture 2, put him at 5, and then pass the turn.
So that was our biggest question about that game. Watching it is, why did you do this double Sanctum turn with no card draw? It felt like a very bad turn, but you were playing into the too much to protect.
Yeah, I had it in hand, and in terms of like what my other turns look like, if I play the 2 shadows cards, it's nothing. Like he has 7 amber, so I steal 1 from too much to protect. I still do it with Ren technically.
Yep.
Or I play an empty disc turn with giving him chains, which is only good if like I'm trying, I'm trying to
4 cards though.
slow him down. 4 cards, and I maybe ditch one. Like I can ditch the Ren, for example.
With the Yerk.
Yeah, with the Yerk. But either way, he's forging a key that turn, and I guess I have the too much protect plus the nerve blast in the deck to put him off another key, but I still don't feel great about my chances because I'm not gaining amber to say check that turn. He has a Nep Seed to bring back the miasma, so
The Nep Seed was for the Carpet Flotsam, right?
Yeah.
Which was a great play.
Yeah. Like if you're playing on too much protects, like you're probably gonna lose some other games.
Yeah,
so
like
it's hard to do that.
Playing around the 1 is fine. Anyway, congratulations! What a close game.
Yeah, I
good
saw
luck.
you guys freaking out as soon as I played it too much protect.
Yeah, that was
oh, God.
that was a huge moment. A second too much to protect. Who expects that?
I opened
Anyway,
it and I was happy.
congrats, Steve.
I'll see you around.
Come on in. Watch the cables.
I'm gonna go watch the
Let me put this over here. Steve, what a game!
My God, that was nuts.
That was very well played by you. I would have played it very similarly,
Right.
if not worse.
Yeah.
But the result was just something too much to protect.
Yeah, right? I mean, that was crazy. Like, I was not, as you just alluded to, I was not expecting the second too much to protect.
Right.
He did the first one for that one. I was like, all right, I dodged that bullet. I feel safe. I knew my deck was basically an Amber Rush deck. That's how I've been playing it. That's how it's been working. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's got the steal, and it's really kind of crazy that it doesn't have like a Hunting Wedge or a Full Moon or anything. But the, what's it called? That Mars card.
The Mars Needs Amber?
No,
the Total Recall.
Total Recall has gotten me I mean, I got 5 right there. It's got me so much amber throughout this, and
we were talking about your board state plays. I would not have pegged you for playing that as a rush deck.
Right? This was like the only game where I had the board state.
You had a dominant board state.
Yeah.
You played the Nature's Call. You thought about doing it twice on a Duskwitch turn, which was just rude. And then he had the answer for the Duskwitch, and you're like, okay, here's my giant Mars board with the ray gun. Yeah, I was very impressed with the control you had over the board, and the tempo you played at seemed correct, because after the too much to protect, you can go a little bit harder. Yeah. And turns out you can't.
I know, right?
Turns
but
out,
I mean, you know, 1 in a million, right?
And that's
or 1 in 900 and whatever.
That's why we're in the top cut.
Yeah, exactly.
These are all the good decks.
I knew it was gonna be tough today, and I really thought I had that game for a second.
So did we.
When I had 17 amber.
If you go back and watch that game, you'll think you had that game still.
Right.
There's no shame. That was a fantastic game. Real quick, tell me about Strategic Dino.
Yeah. Strategic Dino is my token biz, so you can check it out at strategicdino.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and stuff too. I've been doing that for almost exactly a year now.
You make and sell the tokens?
I make and sell tokens all by myself, yeah.
That's fantastic. Do you have some of them? Yeah,
I totally do.
I don't know. I've seen some of your stuff. I remember seeing, I think, chain trackers or something that looked really great.
Oh yeah, I got a chain tracker in here too. This is actually fortuitous. I have a special chain tracker. This chain track. Oh yeah.
Check all these tokens out. We got some power tokens.
Different powers, stuns. This is my favorite. These ambers.
They have a really nice kind of almost ambery rustic look to them, like they've been underground for a long time or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That was my goal. I hand paint each of these.
Wow.
To be unique. So they should each be unique. And then I coat them with a bunch of coats of clear coat and varnish and stuff. Keep them nice and safe from scratching. So
fantastic.
I love those.
Armor tokens.
Yeah, the armors are super popular. That's something FFG should have had already. I know that they're coming out with it in Worlds Collide.
Right.
Here's the chain tracker you mentioned.
These chain trackers, they feel great. They look great.
Yeah.
And I like how you can see all the chains as you go around.
Yeah.
The FFG also just came out with the chain trackers, which are also nice. But this is equally as good in quality.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually honestly I'm impressed with how nice FFGs are, but I love the quality of this one. It feels good. It looks good.
I think they just copied me, obviously.
Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. That was a fantastic game.
Thanks a bunch.
It's great being on the stream.
And hope to see you around more. Are you going to be playing an Archon?
Maybe.
Come on, you can do it. No one. Everyone thinks everyone's got the best deck, but really we all are working with mediocre tools.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys out there with some stuff, and as long as you get to cut, you win. Yeah. Right? That's my goal.
That's how I feel about today. It's like that the field of 240 people that were here yesterday are all so good that making the cut, I feel good. I feel good about that, and I can't complain about losing that game, right?
I know. I certainly wouldn't. Anyway, congratulations. Yeah. And we'll be back for round 2. This round finished pretty quickly, so I'll be posting some things online. Yeah, check out Strategic Dino. He's a cool guy. His stuff is good. Check it out.
Man, that game.
That was nuts. That game was crazy.
Nuts.
You had that
insane.
You had that game in the bag.
Oh well, what can you do? Well, thanks, man. It's great talking to you. Absolutely. Hope the rest of the stream goes well.
Yeah, there's a sticker. You want more stickers? I got a double sigil sticker. Here's a double sigil sticker.
Sweet. Thank you. I'll put them on something.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go enjoy the rest of the convention for the rest of the day.
You do that, man.
Oh, is there going to be... It's
All right, we're coming back. We're here. We're in the top cut with round 2. Ooh. This is the top 16. And we have a special matchup today. So we have Noah, and you can see on Noah's playing on his own mat. This is his own condition. It's his personal logo that he has. It's pretty cool. It's on all of his stuff. And he's a local from New York. So I have a good. I'm excited to announce that after the top 25, which was a brutal round, all 3 of the New York players are still in the top cut in the top 16. Do you have their deck lists?
Yes.
Cool. I don't want their lists. I just want their names.
Fine, I'll tell you the names.
Is that Joe's?
I assume. No, yes, this is Joe's. Beaker Harker. Beaker Harker.
Beaker Harker.
Beaker Harker. Beaker.
Joe at Beaker Harker and Noah at Wolfgang. Wolfgang Thunder.
Disco Scout.
Disco.
That's a badass name, I gotta say.
I'm a fan of all of those words. I'm a fan of all 3 of those words.
It's an amazing name.
Okay, so I am joined here real quick by, I don't know where the players went. Eric, say hi. This is Eric from Team
Hey, team.
SAS. He's going to talk about himself for a second.
Sure. As promised, I didn't quite bomb out round 1 of day 2, but for those who were listening to my interview on stream yesterday, I promised that I would continue my losing streak in round 1 of day 2, and I absolutely did. I will say that it was a close matchup. Rob's gaming table actually taped it, so if anyone wants to watch the video later, it'll be up when he uploads it. But I did a thing that I'm not sure was too cute and too creative. He had a large board state where I did not have the ability to answer it very well. At least I didn't think I would with the deck, with the cards I had in deck. I'll wait till Colby comes back to tell him the story because
Real quick, the players that are at this table are incorrect. They were just sitting down wrong, so we have to grab a new matchup. I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell Colby this story sometime later so he can scream at me off stream because Colby likes getting excited about fun and interesting plays. But so I was in a position where I didn't think I could control his board. He got out to a really big board advantage, and I drew into a Mars hand that had 2 cards. It had Flotsam, Carpet Flotsam, if I remember it correctly, the one that destroys, if you have no creatures, it destroys everything not on the flank. And then I had Mars Needs Amber. So what I did over the course of a few turns was I had some Shadows creatures on board that I kept fighting, and I had Redlock, so I was gaining 1 Amber every turn I wasn't playing creatures. I kept calling Shadows and fighting into his creatures, putting damage on his creatures, and then basically he was kind of taking the bait, and he would swing back and kill my board increasingly. He wasn't reaping a lot. He reaped some, but not a lot. And then when he finally got the last creature off board, I then call Mars. I played Mars Needs Amber. Pretty much all his Amber goes on his creatures. Then I play Flotsam, and pretty much all his creatures get destroyed. But he then had, unfortunately for me, had a pretty good hand to develop after that point in time. So he then got out to too much of a lead. I did this fun play at the end where in order to take him off check, I played a Hypno Beam to take Borden the Redeemed, and then sacrifices my Sigil, I think it's called, whatever, Sigil Brotherhood, I think, that allows me to use Sanctum Creatures. So I then captured using his own Borden that I Hypno Beamed on a Mars turn, which was kind of fun, but I ran out of, I redrew into my deck, and I drew none of my Shadows answers that I needed. I didn't draw Ronnie, didn't draw anything else, so it was actually a very close match. I only lost by 1 key, but I did not get there eventually. As predicted, I did a little bit better than what I predicted, but, you know, I'm very happy to make day 2 with that deck. I don't think that deck is amazing, but we'll see, you know? And then tomorrow I'm playing the cheat code, so I'm all about that. It's going to be real fun. Gen Con's just been a really fun experience for me. I haven't done this in like 20 years, and then, you know, it's only day 2. Day 2, we're going to see some good action today. And the feature matchup, it sounds like, he has not told me, but it sounds like he's one of Colby's friends, versus the lone remaining Team SAS member in the tournament, Joe Huber. Average Joe, as he's known online. He plays anything but average. He's a fantastic player. He's top cut all 3 vaults he's been to, and is done very well. And of course, now that I just finished talking up Joe, I just realized that the pairings changed, so Joe won't be playing this round. But if Joe plays later, that's his resume. And here's Colby.
Hi, I'm back. We have new players now.
We do.
We have Kwa, Khoa.
I spent like 5 minutes introducing, not 5 minutes, I spent a couple minutes introducing Joe, and then I'm like, that's right, Joe's not playing this round.
But, you know, he's a cool guy.
Right, so if he comes on later, you know his resume now. And then I told the story of how I bounced out. I'll tell you later off stream because we're about to start here, but I try to play you would find very funny.
I would love to hear about it after this game.
We'll tell you later, but it looks like we're going into action pretty soon. Who are our players this round?
We have Kwa and Chris. Duff Kyle Grid.
What does that say? It says the Racer of Deer?
The Racer of
These
Deer.
are some solid deck names.
I'm not a fan of Duff Kyle Grid.
Silence of Duff Kyle Grid, though? The Silence of Duff Kyle Grid.
That's kind of cool. That's a movie.
It sounds like it's a movie or it's an offshoot.
It's an
who did Sound of Silence? I'm trying to remember the name of
Oh, we should know that.
Simon and Garfunkel, right?
There you go.
Yeah, it's like a mock. It's like a Weird Al cover of a Simon and Garfunkel song. Anyway, there's an actual game happening here, so go ahead.
Anyway, so we have Khoa, Kwa. And these two guys were super nice. There were a lot of people who didn't want to be on stream for this round, just kind of paired up awkwardly. So these guys are, I mean, it's still top 16. Everyone here is equal standing, equal risk. If you lose, you're out single elimination. And let's look up house matchups. We have Sanctum Brobnar Shadows, which is, I love that house matchup, especially in AOA.
Don't leave home without Shadows.
And then we have Shadows Logos Untamed. So much faster, much weaker, much more recursion? I don't know.
Could be recursion. Untamed is obviously burst plus sometimes nonsense, right? Sometimes tricks, mimicry, regrowth, nature's call, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And Logos in this set is usually pretty heavy on the archiving. So we could be seeing some major turns out of, is it Koa?
Kwa.
Kwa, excuse me.
Kwa. I thought it was spelled with the Q. But no, it's not. So we have the turn 1 Igor, which I guess that's not terrible turn 1, because it sets up your turn 2 quite nicely.
Yes.
I've never played a turn 1 Igor.
You never played a turn 1 Igor?
No.
I don't think I have either. But it seems like a fantastic play.
I'm like trying to go over if I'm mad at that turn, but I'm really not.
Why would you ever be mad at a turn 1 Igor?
I get mad at turns all the time.
All right. Well, all right.
There are wrong things to play on turn 1, and
I definitely don't think that's wrong. I mean, I don't know what his hand was, but
so
he's going to discard Swindle, play Lamindra.
I see Chris not taking a mulligan here. Starting on Sophistry, Lamindra, and then holding a Too Much to Protect.
Is that what it is? I couldn't see the Shadows card.
Yeah, he's holding that. So I'm gonna.
What do we say about holding Too Much to Protect?
We don't do it.
We don't do it.
I don't do it.
We don't do it.
Well,
now,
I don't keep a turn 1 hand where I plan on doing that. So he could have mulliganed for a better hand.
That's
also. So
well,
I
the other thing is there is a small possibility. This is sealed. There's a small possibility that Chris could have some insight as to his opponent's deck here and know that he's going to need that because if he's playing Logos, there could be some sort of brig nonsense happening. So I mean,
sure.
Let's possibly assume that let's not assume. Let's note that it's possible he knows contents of deck that we don't.
I'm just going to be watching Chris's hand and seeing how many turns he goes without playing that card. How many other cards he could have drawn without that. Shout out to their tokens. Everyone's coming in with really solid tokens today. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of custom tokens as well, as you might know.
Yeah, everyone's got really fantastic tokens, and these are some solid but those might be Netrunner chips actually.
What did he just play?
That was a Perplexing Wild to kill all elusive creatures.
That's pretty good against Shadows.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any Shadows out. Oh, he's playing power counters for Panapaka?
I call them the foxes.
The fox.
Power fox, skirmish fox.
That's power fox.
I'm not
Can
even
we
trying
call
to get
it Star Fox. Is that an option on the table?
I like Star Fox.
Yeah.
That's
Back
a
to
good
my
one.
video games of my childhood.
So positioning early game. Kwa's board. Ooh, Kwa's board has 5 cards on it, but I don't necessarily think it's stronger than Chris's, right? Because
right now he's got 1 creature in each of 3 houses, and their major function right now is either as some sort of bludgeoning stick, which is they're not very large bludgeoning sticks, or just to read, right?
Yeah. The memory chip lets you archive a card every turn when you go into Logos. And with the sloppy lab work, I guess that's some really good deck streaming, which is what we were looking for out of a Logos hand. So
if
good on you, Qua.
One of the things to pay attention to what Qua is doing here is, if I'm not mistaken, does he have any untamed card? He just cycled through discard. Did he play any other untamed cards other than Power Wolf and the Seed? He
did play one other. He played that Perilous Wilds.
He played Perilous Wilds?
Or it may have been...
Yes, but that's it, right? So
yes.
Just 3? So my guess, with this lineup, what usually happens is, unless you're specifically archiving something like Too Much to Protect, with this lineup, you're usually going to expect to archive a bunch of untamed creatures. And then or untamed actions, or untamed key cheats, or that sort of stuff. They come up with a burst untamed turn. That's what I would expect if I am Chris in this spot. I'd expect that that's the target of Qua.
Okay, so we have the Bremo and the Cowfine come down, which don't seem to do a lot on the board, but with the Signal Fire means that they can fight whenever they feel like it.
And keep in mind, the power level of Qua's board is not very high. Like, he does have Power Wolf, but he's got two power creatures next to Power Wolf.
Right. But he drew into a Dusk Witch, and I think he just grabbed his archives to go into Untamed because he wants to get that Dusk Witch on the table ASAP.
He does. The problem is, I don't know if he has any way to protect it.
Chota for no loss.
That's fair. Free Chotas are good.
And I think I'm not a fan of rushing the Dusk Witch out, especially if you've got Untamed cards in your archive.
It totally depends. Well, totally depends on what he has to protect here. I don't. There's not a lot in. If he has specifically the other wolf that gives elusive. Oh no, that gives skirmish. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing to protect it.
So here, that was a rare event. It's like Earth Shatter or something, or Earthquake. And
Earthbind?
Earthbind? I forget exactly what it did.
Omega pull a card from discard, I think?
No, that's Gravid Cycle.
That's Gravid Cycle.
No, what the effective result of that card was it killed the Cowfine, which I think makes the Dusk Witch turn a ton better.
Well, he hasn't played Dusk Witch yet.
Quicksand, so I'm gonna look up that card. Yeah, that's a rare that I don't actually know.
So he does drop the Dusk Witch at end of turn. Yeah, he's perhaps banking on him not having any. Well, he's clearly banking on him not having any answers here because he had the opportunity, as Colby alluded to wait to call Untamed at least for one more turn.
It destroys the most powerful creature controlled by each player.
Quicksand. Quicksand. Yeah.
Without a ready Untamed creature. I haven't played that card before, and it killed the Power 5 Cowfine.
He was very fortunate that Wolf was still on the board there, otherwise it would kill one of his own creatures as well.
But what matters to me there is that now Chris can't double fight with the Signal Fire.
Yes.
Into the Dusk Witch. He has to do something where he uses his board and the Redeem to take away the elusive.
There are a lot of answers he could have in Shadows, in Brobnar, not quite as many, but I mean, really anything that allows it to fight. So he's going to fight, and then he's got to have Smite. He could have
Golden Aura.
That works.
But you see, he is using this board and the Redeem to take away the elusive, which is rather inefficient. But
but it creates suboptimal plays. That's what Dusk Witch does, right? It creates a suboptimal play by the opponent unless the opponent has a perfect answer in hand.
Right. And right now, I mean, Quaz is a key up. So I want to see now that he Quaz baited out the inefficient turn from Chris. Mm-hmm. How does Quaz take advantage of this very short period of bonus tempo?
Well, again, it really, I can't quite see what he's drawn into, but the problem with his board state is that his board state is diversified, which protects him against certain things that we're not going to see out of Chris, like if he had a Restaurant Guntus or something. Obviously not in that house's set, but like it protects him against those things. But it also means that he can't really take max advantage unless he has something wild in his hand. So that's kind of what we're going to figure out right now. What does he have?
I want to see a Logos turn out of Qua. I really want to see value out of that memory chip.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time for a Logos turn simply based off of the few number of times he's called Logos.
He's got a Life Web in hand. That seems like a great card to archive. I want to go back into your plan where you archive the fancy Untamed cards.
So he's going back into Untamed. He's playing a creature with power counters and reaping twice. I don't know about that.
No, I'm a fan of that. I think he's going to play the Life Web for the 6th Amber.
Oh, okay.
And now he's going to force Chris into playing
I
Borderland
can't
the
see
Redeemed.
how many. Oh, I thought that was a.
No, he's got 6 now.
Oh, I thought those were card icons. Okay, yep.
It's not 7. Like, 7 is more consistent for getting that key, but he's just making Chris uncomfortable again. First with the Dusk Witch, now with the 6 Amber.
So now, and again, we talked about knowledge that Chris may have. Qua may have knowledge that there's a too much to protect in Chris's deck, and even if he doesn't have knowledge, he may be playing around it anyway, right? So that may be the optimal play on Qua's side to not go to like 8.
So I've already forgotten.
Or 9.
I forgot how this game started, which is with Chris holding that too much
to protect. That's what I'm telling you.
How many turns? How can
He's
you
gonna
hold?
hold it again. He's just gonna play Treasure Map and gain 4, which seems okay, but it's
No, that's not okay when you're staring down a 6 Amber Forge.
Right. The end of that sentence is gaining 4 in general seems okay.
Yeah.
Right. But in this particular situation, what is he?
He's going to discard the other 3 cards.
Can you?
You cannot play other cards.
You can discard stuff on Treasure Map.
Yeah.
So did he discard too much to protect?
Oh yeah.
So he held too much to protect for 3 or 4 turns.
Yep.
And then discarded it post Treasure Map.
Yep.
So what do we say about holding too much to protect?
We don't do it.
We don't do it.
And this is just
I mean, now to be fair, there is a possibility that could have paid off for him. We don't know. But it usually doesn't, and it often produces weird things like this where he basically played for 3 turns as he has a chain.
How do you feel about the Bramo using the Signal Fire here to have the Bramo fight into the Power Wolf?
So again, forgive me, it's only 11 or whatever in the morning. It's been a long day. Does Bramo just have the play effect, or does he have a fight effect?
He has the play effect.
The play effect. So there's no fight effect.
No.
So you're asking me how I feel about fighting Bramo into where?
Into the Power Wolf. The Power Wolf is gone.
So the thing is, if you're not going to board, if you have the intention of putting a lot of very tiny creatures on the board pretty soon, and you're worried about him wiping your board, that's one thing. But I don't know what other options he had. My guess is he had better options because the Power Wolf doesn't matter if you don't have a board for the Power Wolf to a fight. Also, keep in mind that I guess there were 3 Untamed cards, so we could go yet again back into Untamed, but that's probably a bad thing.
That was going to be my point.
That feels pretty bad.
There's no way Qua goes into Untamed again.
I mean, there are ways if he drew specifically like, I don't know, some sort of very good Untamed card, like a Mimicry or something, but usually not. No, that's probably not the right play.
Interesting.
So he's Lamindering again. He discarded a card from hand. He got Bang Bang on the random, and then he's Lamindering again.
I think they'll put more power counters from the Growth Keeper in a second, but what does Chris need to do to get back into this game? Because I believe he's behind. Qua did a turn here that is more utilitarian than it is effective, right? I think he's setting up this Shadow's turn.
Chris needs to find something, like, he needs to find Coward's End. I mean, that definitely does it. It gets him in the game.
I don't think that a board wipe gets him back in the game.
Well, it's step 1 of getting him back in the game. I mean, if he doesn't do something about the board state, he's going to, I mean, unless he has some sort of funky burst in Shadows, or he's got lots of value Sanctum creatures he can put on the board.
I think the best thing that Chris can do is put Qua in check before he's expecting it. Right? I want to see a check this turn. And because Qua's not threatening at his 3rd key yet. If Chris can kill the little Nith and get to check this turn, ooh, does that get it?
He's Healing Blast.
But it's Healing Blast for 1. You need 4 heals, right?
Yes.
Too bad.
To get the bonus.
Yep.
Is that Chow? What is that?
Yeah, that's the Protector. That's the Safeguard. That's the
Chow
taunt.
the Safeguard.
There's the power attack tokens for the Growth Keeper. We knew that was going to happen. And then Reaps on the Bordan, which I'm okay with, but that's a rather inefficient turn.
Yeah. I mean, and he may be drawing poorly. He may have some sort of setup that we don't know about, but
and the little Nif is still here.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
It's a big problem because he's going to have 2 different houses that he can fight with now, I will say that the 2 houses he can fight with, neither one of those creatures has elusive. Or skirmish, excuse me. Well, they don't have elusive either, but that's not relevant. They don't have skirmish, so, like, you could suicide a Chota into something and steal one, I guess.
Yeah, you still steal if you die.
Yeah, because the effect is not on the creature. That's correct. It doesn't say each creature gains, fight, steal one. It says when another creature, when a creature fights.
What's a little bit fortunate is that Chota actually can't suicide. He's too big right now. He's a 5.
We could suicide into the Bramo, can he?
How? Bramo's a 4.
Bramo a 4, I can't. Those are armor tokens? What is that?
Those are 2 armor tokens, one from himself, one from the Protect the Weak.
Yep. That makes sense. So it's true. He cannot actually do it. I mean, he can kill something. Even if he can't I'm not saying you would need to suicide. Not suiciding into the Brahma would be better, right? Killing the Brahma without dying would be better because you get the steal trigger. And you don't lose Chota.
Okay, so we do go with the Igor. Is that a Reap on the Igor?
I do not know. I think so.
Oh, maybe no. He probably. It looks like he.
The Chow doesn't have elusive, I don't think. So, it must have been a Reap, and then he's playing more Igors. He's leaving Titan Mechanic protected on the flank. I guess if he gets to 5 here, that's obviously a mistake. But if he doesn't, then sure. Okay, he doesn't.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, he's just board developing. This is a dangerous proposition for Qua because if Chris finds something like a Coward's End or a Champion's Challenge, then he loses a lot of investment and time and whatever. But it's still not. I guess I shouldn't say dangerous. It's somewhat risky, but it's fairly conservative because even if you board wipe here, Qua's still up a key, and he has 3 amp. So it's not terrible.
What I think you're feeling is that Qua has the tempo, and he's giving up the tempo to get board back.
He's giving him a chance.
Right. He's giving Chris
He needs to put his foot on Chris's throat, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. What I want to talk about the finger touch artifact right here.
Oh, the finger trap, whatever?
Yeah.
The shift in line?
Yeah. That's actually, it seems really good here.
It's deceptively good in situations like this. Like, I looked at that when it came out, I said, oh, this is nonsense. But the more that battle line matters, the more that it
I'm
matters.
looking at Little Nif. I'm looking at Grovekeeper. I'm looking at 2 protects on Chris's board.
So what you definitely can do is in a Logos turn, what Qua could do is Qua could use the thing to move Little Nif in between Logos creatures.
Yeah,
fight with the Logos creatures, right? And then like if he moved it in between the Mechanic and Igor, he could fight with Igor. Igor dies, and then Little Nif is back next to an Untamed creature next turn.
I would totally call that a big play.
Right, you could do fun things like that.
I would love to see that, and I think Little Nif needs to be dead soon.
Little Nif is a priority target here, although Qua hasn't used him. I mean, it depends on how much Chris would have to give up to kill him. It's probably not worth sacking an entire turn to kill Little Nif if you have other things to advance your position in the game. But if he could do it with something reasonably easy, like he's got a spell or something, then yeah, so that's the #1 must-kill target on the board currently.
Where is all of Qua's Amber going? He has 1.
It was captured by Borden here.
Sure.
He just played Borden.
I really want to see Qua getting more Amber.
Yes, well, that's what I was alluding to earlier, right? Like, Qua has the board advantage for sure, and now he's
going Shadows?
He's called Shadows, so he's not opting for most houses on board. He's opting probably to play the most cards out of hand, and board developed a little more. He did Maul, so that's a good thing.
And now we have a Sir Marrows. Now it's going to be a lot harder for Qua to actually get this Amber that he needs. Yes. Sir Marrows is out. What are you going to do?
Well, Chris has given Qua insurance against a board wipe in the form of many creatures with captured Amber on them.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
I mean that, but again, lights out. That is what you're going to do.
That's what you're going to do.
That is what you're going to do.
That's 6 Amber in Qua's pool. It's about time.
That is maybe it. I don't know what sort of answers he has.
Chris has Borden on the board.
Right, but not anymore. He doesn't because he sacked the flank.
Oh,
sorry,
the special delivery.
Yes, thank you. And that actually shouldn't that be purged?
It is purged. It's not.
Did he move it out of the?
It's out of frame.
Okay, got it.
And a routine.
Oh, he's got routine shot. Oh god. Okay.
Insult to injury, Qua.
Game. That's game.
Oof.
He's got 2 root. Oh, good night.
That's 9 Amber.
maybe he was setting up that.
I wonder how much
That
of that
is
was
the
memory
end.
chip. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's recap that game. I think that Chris was banking too hard on the too much to protect them in the beginning, and Chris's draws didn't seem great, but part of that was his own choice.
Yeah. I think that's true. Now, again, we don't know if you saw this. This reminds me somewhat of my matchup yesterday, right? At least the first part of this reminds me of how I was playing my matchup yesterday. I was drawing pretty poorly. I drew into a lot of 2-2 hands, which seems like what Chris was doing a little bit.
Yeah.
But by the same token, he did make a couple decisions when he had to take a turn off to kill the witch, right?
Yep.
For sure. And then he made a couple decisions where he didn't. Little Nif ended the game on board, right? So that's a problem. Now, he may not have had a lot of answers.
I don't think Little Nif did his thing at all.
He didn't. He was fortunate that Little Nif didn't do his thing. So it's kind of one of these things where, like, I don't know if it was a calculated decision by Chris to say, I don't think you're going to do very much with Little Nif. Show me. And then he didn't because he didn't need to because he had 2 routine jobs in hand? Like
Something like that.
Sure?
But, I mean, Chris did make the play where he played the treasure map and then discarded 3 cards, including the routine job. He knew when it was time to go fast, but...
Quad's deck is good. I mean, Quad played that well, but Quad's deck is good.
Quad's deck has a lot of juice in that deck.
Quad probably could have applied a little more pressure. But, you know, I mean, but again, Quad did what he needed to do, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did what he needed to do.
So I'm gonna try to get these guys over here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But then we can chat a little bit about your game in the meantime while they're
Sure.
finishing up. I'll be right back.
Okay. I guess he wants me to chat about my game. I pretty much told the whole story earlier. Yeah, my opponent was a good player in the last round. I don't know how he's doing right now. But the reality is, at Gen Con, it is a significant achievement at Gen Con to get to day 2 in any of these events. There were 240 people in sealed. I definitely did not think I was going to get to day 2 when I opened my deck. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was amazing. And I for sure did not think I was going to get to day 2 when I lost my first round. So winning 5 rounds, I mean, I consider that a pretty good accomplishment. And obviously it's good just to be able to do that in the field. So I'm happy where I ended up. And with that...
Tell me what happened in your game real quick.
Okay, so I'll
give me
recount.
the 2-second recap.
I tried a cute play where I tried to wipe my own board and entice him to wipe my own board to Mars Needs Amber and Carpet Flotsam in the same turn.
Okay.
It worked, by the way. I did it. It took me 1 turn probably because I didn't think my deck had answers to his massive board presence.
Yep.
So I kept swinging my Shadows creatures into his different things and putting damage on them. And then I did get the huge Amber swing, right? So I played Mars Needs Amber for like 5.
Wow.
And then I played Carpet Flotsam and wiped the entire... And I had a Scowly Caper on his board. Scowly Caper, it turns out, did a lot of work for him that match because he kept using it.
You've been talking about Scowly Caper in sealed. We've talked about it before.
It's very good. I had it in my deck yesterday. I mean, and this morning, briefly. But, you know, but it does work. Scowly Caper does work. You have to be a little bit careful because the opponent can use the creature a lot.
Does it have skirmish?
It has skirmish, and it can be used by all houses.
Yeah.
It belongs to all houses.
That's pretty good.
So, I mean, it definitely... It has a bit of a drawback. It has benefit, but it has a bit of a drawback.
Was it killing enough creatures to be worth it?
Well, I could have killed it earlier, but I was fine. I was fine with keeping it alive. So, I mean, it ended up not being great for me, but, like, it was still necessary, because, it killed probably 4 of his creatures.
Wow.
So,
okay.
But anyway, we'll go to the finals. I'm going to run out for a second. I'll be back in a minute, but
Absolutely.
Well, as soon as they get over here, I will. We'll
No,
talk
they,
until...
they ran off. They probably have something important, like turning in their slip or something.
Oh, you know, like...
I thought that was already
Logic
done.
and...
I don't know.
So yeah, but I tell you, you would have really appreciated that play if you didn't see my hand, because you would have not known what I was doing. Why is Eric calling Shadows, playing no cards, getting a trigger off Redlock, and then just crashing into board? Anyway,
thanks a bunch, Eric.
More on that. I'll be back later.
You'll be back for the next round?
Sure, why not?
All right, great. Please hang out.
All right, Paul's coming. He just had to check. Make
Sure.
sure they got the slip.
I can really only talk to one person at a
Okay.
time on this thing. Come on.
right.
And I got a microphone. Anyway, Chris,
Yes.
rough game. Talk to me about how you played that game.
It was rough from the beginning. He dominated the board right away. Generated some amber super fast. unfortunately, my starting draw and then the mulligan, I had too much to protect.
So you did mulligan.
I did mulligan.
Okay.
I had too much to protect in both the first and the mulligan.
Yep.
And his first 2 keys, he got to exactly 6.
Right.
So I could never benefit from that.
So in our commentary, we were talking about your first turn was Shadows, and you played some cards, and you didn't. Yeah, you played Sophistry. You played, I think, a Lamindra or something, and then you held on to the too much to protect. And
which in hindsight was, I should have played it just to get the amber.
There have been a number of games that we've seen in Vault Tours where exactly the same thing happens. They hold the too much to protect on turn 1, and it's still there in turn 4, and then they lose by this much. And then,
Yes, I know. So this was my 8th game with the deck,
right?
And I have a lot of capturing in the deck. I've got 2 Bordans, I've got Sir Meros.
Sure, come in a little closer.
Yeah, sure. So I've got a bunch of capturing, and in the other 7 games I played, I was able most of the time to capture some, get them. They would get it back, and then too much to protect was huge. I'd gain 3+ amber.
Right.
So getting this far, I was like, okay, I gotta try that again.
That's the insight I want to hear, is that you've done this before.
Yes.
You've had times where
6-1 before
your deck is trying to play for the too much to protect play, and it just doesn't work out.
I mean, it just didn't work out there. It was to exactly 6. But yeah, it was a great game. So that was my goal. It didn't work out.
You got top 16. You're power 5.
Yeah, I mean, I went 6 and 2.
That's fantastic.
I can't complain.
Field is hard. You're playing sealed. You're playing Archon.
Yeah, I'll be here Saturday. Yeah.
Archon is on Saturday. We're all playing Archon. Oh, right.
I will be here.
Well, thanks a bunch for being around.
What's your name?
My name is Colby. I go by CoDameron.
Yes,
this is my stream CoDameron.
Okay, yes.
And check out Bouncing Deathquark podcast and all that.
All right, talk to Qua. He was a fantastic player.
Qua,
Great opponent.
come on over.
So
I don't deserve this so much praise. So.
Qua, you played a good game.
Thank you again, man.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah, see you around.
Yeah.
Qua, how's it going? Congrats.
Thank
Tell
you.
me about how that game felt from your perspective.
I felt pretty good. The pacing with my hand management felt pretty solid. Yeah, there's very few times that I felt like I might have been out of control when you threw down his 2 Sanctum creatures. I knew it was gonna come up, but I had some. Yeah.
Because there were a lot of interesting plays that you made that really pushed your tempo.
Yeah. So the thing I really liked is that Nep Seed gives you so much versatility, and it just gives you that like double combo. So for example, in the one game I played, I quicksanded him twice, which gave me board control right away. Because
quicksand is a great removal tool.
Oh yeah, especially if you have an untamed creature and they don't have an untamed house, it's just instant removal. Yeah, and then you could hit it twice with Nep Seed. But my favorite combo is probably the routine job and then back to back with the Nep Seed. So
that's you play 1 for 1, then you play 1 for 2, and then you recur that 1, and you get another 2 steal. That's 5 steal.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not counting the other steel creatures on top of that.
So you played this game, right? And you're doing well, and you're getting incremental advantages. On the last turn, you went bop, 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 and then did double routine job. And we're like, oh, okay. He's also got the routine jobs.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Little Nif. How does Little Nif work in your deck? Because we noticed you didn't use him. You played him on the board, and you, I think, used him to reap.
Yeah, I used I found that Little Nif is only good if you have creatures out of house that you can use to steal with.
Yep.
At the time, I had it in my hand, and he ends your turn, so I couldn't really utilize him to the full. But I did have an option for the Logos turn that I actually mentioned to my opponent, where I could hit the 2 Igors, sack them twice for 2 steal, and then hit him one more time with
the Titan mechanic,
which is a 3 steal, which is kind of
at that time you also had the Quantum Finger Tap on board. Yeah. And you would have been able to do other fancy things. You would have been able to do move him around his taunt. And I think this is actually a weird example of a deck that actually takes good use of Quantum Finger Tap.
That's actually very true, because I've never ever seen Quantum Finger Trap actually be very useful.
You have a ton of work here.
Yeah, which is pretty fun. And players always find a Wild Wormhole to be 50% evil and 50% good.
I don't like that card.
Yeah. The Wild Wormhole in this deck composition in general is really, really good, because the only thing that would hurt me is Choda. But even then,
Yeah.
like you can set up for Choda. If you know you might hit Choda in one of your wild wormholes, you can look at your discard and see what you have like might be left.
That's a really good point on Wormhole, but also on Sealed in general. Just having no dead cards. These are all. Every one of these cards is pushing you forward at least a little bit in almost every scenario.
Yeah. The hand manipulation with logos is like pretty strong because I don't play like a lot with Igor.
Yeah.
And Igor is actually like pretty strong because you pick up 3 cards and you could get another Logos card or Logos creature, or you can set up for the next turn, which is like
You saw
pretty
your
sick.
Igor play turn 1,
Yeah.
and I have never done Igor turn 1. That looks great. That looked very like a great turn 1 play.
I think it's like a absolutely fantastic card for turn 1. It's like up there with like Eureka and everything because you shape your hand, right? And shaping your hand gives you momentum. And yeah.
Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're in the top 8, and good luck in that game.
Thank you.
And good luck in the rest of the tournament. We'll see you later.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you, Kwa. Anyway, that was the top 16. Congrats to Kwa. We'll be back with the top 8 when that starts. See you soon. All right, and we're back. We are in top 8 now. Round 3 is top 8. We have Corey. Peacock, the moneylender of Darkland. And that's right here. And over here we have Jason from Team Reapout at the Mr. of Burn Minister. All right. So good luck to these two guys. Top 8 single elimination, real tough match, real tight matchup. Let's talk about houses, I guess. I think I'll be casting this one on my own. Z from Team SAS may come over, but otherwise it's probably just going to be me, which is plenty to do for a top 8. All right, so we have Shadows, Sanctum, Dis up against Shadows, Dis, Logos. Okay, so Sanctum versus Logos. I want to see Corey with Shadows Dis Logos has always been a good house combination for very efficient play, very disruptive play, and incremental value plays. Jason has that Sanctum part, so maybe he'll be making more of a board. I really want to see what each of these players' Dis houses look like. Are they going to be more beefy? Are they going to be Repate with the Amber Imps? Are they going to have the Blood Shard Imps? Are they going to have the Binding Irons? Because that's always a good card. Who has Lash? Do they both have Lash? Where are we going to see advantages? All right, we have a special guest commentator. We have Colleen from Team Reapout. Colleen, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Colleen, you were in the top 16 as well, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, just got knocked out, but it's been a fun sealed tournament for the Vault Tours.
Something about shards not coming up?
Shards not coming up. Yep, had a shard deck, ended the game with 0 shards, so that's a problem, but still fun. Performed much better than I expected.
And so, you and Jason are buddies, right?
Yep. He's lucky enough to have me around as girlfriend. He's not smart enough to lock it down yet.
I didn't realize you two were a pair. Okay, so now, so you might be a little biased on this one, but he's got to earn his win.
Oh yeah, he's got to earn it.
Yeah.
I figured, and I'm friends with Corey, so I figured if I could watch it from afar, it would be even better.
Well, now we get to judge them as well. So, the treasure map turn 2 actually seems fine to me.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, there's not a lot on the board. Seems like a very good time to play it. Up 3 Amber.
What I was saying is I really wanted to see what's in Jason's Dis list. I wanted to see if it's a creature-based one or a disruption-based one. The Gub makes me happy to see next to all of these Sanctum creatures.
Yeah, it's a really cool deck. I obviously looked at it, but I won't spoil. We'll kind of see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm playing entirely blind.
I'll let you be excited.
Okay, so Corey does a strange turn here. Titan Mechanic pass, check with 5 is cool, but
sure,
that's a strange play.
Well, I'd like to see more board develop, and maybe he's really desperate to get a key and maybe steal Jason's 2 Amber, but it does seem a little strange.
I think he was holding that 3 Fates. I mean, if I'm in Corey's spot, I definitely want to put Jason in check no matter what.
Right.
But I don't know if a Titan Mechanic is the way that I would do it. Maybe he had no other Amber. He has at least 2 other Amber cards in his hand. Life Ward plus 3 Fates seemed like a fine turn to me.
Sure. Well, and Jason just played Miasma and discarded Oubliette, so now he kind of just went the turn. Oh, and ended up killing it anyway. Okay.
What a strange turn.
Interesting. All right.
And then a Life Ward. So Corey's at 7.
Yeah, I mean, he got there, but maybe he was thinking 3 Fates. Didn't want to play too many creatures. He had a lot. Looks like he had at least 3 discards.
And here's a combo that we've seen at least 3 times today. Brand to give your opponent an Amber, and then too much to protect to take it all back.
That's great.
Big plays by Jason, and not taking away Corey's key. Corey's still going to forge that first key.
Sure.
But now Jason's at 7 and got a ton of value out of his Brand and the Too Much to Protect, really.
Yeah, that's value. And, you know, I love Brand, but it's harder to get rid of, well, without, like, Life for Life or even Stack of Coins, really. So
Does Jason have those cards?
You'll have to wait to see and find out. But, I mean, I like to see how people are creative to get rid of it when you don't see those right on the deck list.
Yeah.
The decks or play against. Because, I mean, the easiest play is obviously play Brand Life for Life. Stack of Coins, sometimes you see people stretch for, but ooh.
The Dust Imps, and lets Jason have the key. I don't think there was a stop in Corey's hand, but playing I mean, I assume he drew those 2 cards after playing his 3 discard turn. It looks like Corey is trying to pressure Amber here. This game they're already a key piece, and that's much faster than some of the other games we've seen today. They both seem to have a very good idea of the tempo of this game. If I were Corey, I would put a lot of effort into killing that Brand before those Dust Imps die.
Right.
At what point do you think Corey should pop the Life Ward?
Well, yeah, that's interesting to me. I guess if you have knowing Dust Imps, you kind of want them to die, but might have been helpful because now Jason just laid down 3 disc creatures.
I wonder if Corey has a board wipe to follow up with the Life Ward. Okay, so Jason draws the unlocked gateway. I think if he plays that ever, then Corey just responds with the Life Ward.
Oh yeah.
Double Subtle Maul.
Ooh, this Corey's deck is spicy.
That is spicy. Ugh. That makes that Shadows House look really appealing whenever you go into that. Better than Shards?
I would take those over the Shards for sure.
Better than Shards. Okay, so Jason is pretty undisturbed this turn. I think there's a world where he goes Dis. Okay, so he plays the Armor Smith. And neither of them are really putting Amber pressure on the other one.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree that probably would have been a fine turn for this, but you just play 4 creatures?
Yeah, four creatures pass?
I think that might have been the right play in the long term. But.
And the Eureka. I love this card. This is such a cool card.
It's one of my favorites.
So let's see how many cards Corey can play after the Eureka, because he has no Logos cards on board.
Sure.
And he's staring down a gigantic board from Jason. Scares me.
Right.
Cutthroat for 1. He had that when Jason was at 7, which was lucky for Jason, calculated by Jason. I don't know.
Yeah, probably just lucky.
Is that a second Life Ward for Corey? That is.
Well, yeah, in this hand, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
Look at these artifacts on Corey's board, but I think Corey does. I don't like to lean on the board wipes too hard, but I at least want to kill the Brand. Now he can't because he has 4 Amber.
Well, and I wonder, and Jason might have known that Corey had at least 1 Life Ward. I mean, they're friends too, so I wonder if Jason thinks, hey, I need to get creatures on the board and hope he doesn't wipe it. that could really be his thinking here. But I think he's capitalizing now, trying to catch up on Amber.
And he's going with the Sanctum turn to Reap probably 4 times. Reaps 3 so far, gets to 5. I want to see if he does a capture on that board and the Redeemed. So there, he's at 6 now, so he doesn't have to go to 7.
Sure.
But the Umbra is staring at you.
Right.
The Grey Rider.
Okay, I like that.
Does it with Anguish.
Smart.
Takes the damage. Only takes 1 because of the armor.
Sure.
Look at Jason. He knows his board state. He knows how that works.
Yeah.
Gotta move his name over. His board's getting so big. Okay, so they're both even on keys, and Jason has the board. Does he Reap here? No, he does captures. Okay. I'm not upset about it. What do you do there?
I mean, with the Life Ward staring at your face, it's pretty, you want to sell even though a board clear will get it all back, but if he doesn't have it, I just think that's the play, right? If he doesn't have a board clear?
Yeah.
Looks like Corey just double subtle mauled. Ouch.
But Jason doesn't mind. He's got the board to not be upset about that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like, sure, that's just fine. I'll go into Sanctum and I just played 2 Shadows cards. The Miasma might come into play, losing that.
Double sack coins? Is that what that is?
Double throwing stars, throwing knives, whistling darts. That's it. Something sharp that flies through the air.
Yeah, we tried.
But the first one gets eaten on the armor.
Sure. Just that he's got an Abon Armor Smith out there right now. So
And then the
it'll take a
Yahtzee
little
game.
bit.
Okay, the thing that I want to note about this game is, yes, they're building a board, but there's been 2 dust imps on the board for, 3-4 turns now. There's been a Bren the Fanatic on the board for just as long. And this board just keeps getting, not even just bigger, no one's fighting, and they're not making a ton of headway. Corey's cards, he's playing them, like the Subtle Mauls, the Life Ward, the Library of Babel, the Whistling Darts, they're nice, but they're not winning him the game.
Right. I wonder if he's got some big play coming, like, maybe he does have a board right and he's just trying to cycle here. But I guess he played Yahtzee Gang and Whistling Darts.
If Corey can get out of the Brend steal without getting stolen from, I would call that a big play. I would be satisfied with that as a play. But Jason does get his second key. Goes blue and then red. So yellow key is the third key, right?
Yes.
We always do that. Like, I think you can choose whichever one, but yellow's third.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's also my least favorite color out of the 3.
Yeah.
No, just naturally for me.
And Corey still hasn't popped the Life Ward. I mean, he had obviously at least 2 chances to do it because Jason did play his cards.
Well, and don't you, if you know you have one in your hand, I feel like, I guess maybe you could wait until the turn before you're going to play this, pop it, or play it during this turn, so you replace it.
You need to play it to get tempo, but he's already lost the tempo.
J2 players, your parents
I
are
agree.
there.
Well, I think Jason, after the Subtle Maul, is really debating what house he is. Looks like Sanctum. Oh, he's got Grey Rider, I forgot, all the way down there.
Right. I'm totally happy with the Sanctum turn. It's and he has also the Hollowed Shield to not take damage on this Anguish.
Right.
He already has 2, that's plenty. Bordan will capture? No, Bordan reaps.
I think he's going to try and get to... Can he get to 6? No. By reaping? Maybe.
1, 2, 3.
Looks like
He can get 2 more. He gets to 5, and he might have a card in hand.
Yeah. And that captured on evade, the fact that Corey couldn't deal with it, that's huge. That Jason was able just to...
It was two amber just taken.
Yeah.
Out of the safe card. Only gets to 5. So so that was the maximum amount of amber he could have gotten that turn.
I like that play though.
Yeah. I want to get as much amber as I can, and then just try to win on that.
Puts pressure on Corey, who's down a key.
Is that a third miasma? Oh.
Yes, it is.
And that's at least 2 exhumes I've seen now. Maybe it was 3. I couldn't tell.
He's got 3 in the deck.
There's 3 exhumes too.
Yeah.
That is
Deck's fun.
That seems very consistent, and like those aren't just 3 save the packs. You know, they're 3 very strong, very versatile cards.
Yeah.
And I remember back in Origins, JT had a deck with 3 miasmas in it as well, and a Bren. So miasmas really buying you that extra time to actually win. They're not just a dud card. They're actually good in these late game matchups. And Corey with more artifacts.
That's a lot of artifacts. Holy smokes! Is that last one on the fetch drones? It's kind of.
It is fetch drones.
So there's a little capture, I suppose. There.
It would be nice to put that captured amber on the dust imp, but it might be a little late.
Pops the life ward. Is
Here
that a little too late though?
He's going to archive his life ward instead of the lab work. I don't know how I feel about that.
Interesting.
He hasn't even played a disc turn in a while. He could play down both life wards.
Well, I guess we didn't see what he archived. Do you think he archived the other life ward that was already in his hand?
Oh, well, he did archive one from lab work, which I didn't notice, but he did grab the one from the researcher, which was. So, I don't know what he lab worked.
Guess we'll have to wait and see. So
No,
what do you
he's
think Jason
holding the other
does?
life ward still.
Oh. What do you think Jason's going to do here?
Get to 6 amber?
That would be the best point.
Yeah. I think step 1 is get to 6 amber. Step 2 is don't play creatures because you're under life ward.
Yep.
But really, I think he can play a little bit conservative here. Try to save resources. Maybe go into that disc turn to discard that gateway that he's been holding on for a while. Play that exhume, and maybe you play the gateway here just to pop your Bren. That's a little greedy. It's a little greedy.
That might be too greedy. Well, and he's got it on Sanctum. Like,
Yeah, he's just gonna go Sanctum again.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Corey has not threatened Jason's Sanctum board at all this game.
well, I wonder how many do you think Jason gets, and what I mean, you know, perhaps it's too much to protect and just Arani.
Yeah, so we actually saw a game get lost today because who was it? So whoever was playing Andrew, I think it was
That's it.
Steve?
That's just it.
Yeah.
He didn't draw any answers. Oh, he was trying to cycle.
It was on the bottom of my deck. Oh well. He was cycling very efficiently though.
He was.
But really, Corey's deck just didn't. He was trying to race, and he didn't have the tools to deal with Jason's
Right here.
board.
That Sanctum was pretty clutch for Jason.
Yeah. So congrats to Jason advancing to top 4. Corey's still getting a great top 8 finish.
Yeah.
Really, really scrappy game. Corey with a very interesting deck that wants to both go fast and play all these utility artifacts. The double subtle maul, the double library of Babel, the fetch drones, and the double life ward. That's a fun list.
Right.
That's a lot of just utility, but turns out if you don't play them and use them at the right times, then you can get behind very quickly.
Yeah.
I wonder, if I were Corey, I would go back and watch this game and ask himself when popping the life wards would have actually mattered.
To me, I feel like as soon as he could have played it, might have been enough to slow Jason down a little bit. But Jason's deck just has, a lot of creatures, and they got out there, and he was able to do it. And I think at the end, he just was like, I'm going to read, get to a comfortable number, protect, too much protect, but he's ahead the whole team.
And in the end, both the Dust Witch, the Dust Imps, and the Brend lived.
Yeah.
All 3 of those creatures just stayed on the board and didn't get their effects.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Can you remind me, what's the timing, let's say, if Corey somehow got rid of the Brand with the Dust Imps at the same time?
Active player chooses.
So Brand could steal nothing if that'd be the obviously maximum.
Yeah, who actually plays the gateway there would have mattered.
Okay, so then if Jason played the gateway, he could have said Dust Imp triggers first and then Brand. Okay, cool.
Do you want to get Jason over here for an interview?
Sure, I'll go see if he's up for that. I'm sure
Fantastic. Yeah, that was a good game.
Thanks for letting me on.
Thank you for helping. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to try to get Jason over here to talk to him about this game. There's a bit of a crowd around the Destiny tables. But yeah, what a good game. And so, for the top 4 finals, I'm going to try to grab a table. And if I can't, then I can't, and I'll come back, I'll make an announcement, and then that'll be that. I'm going to try to get on the streams for FFG. I know that Rob's gaming table is also doing a bunch of captures like he did for Origins. He captured all the episodes, all the games, and then posted an episode of it every day. And I think only recently, like a couple weeks ago, he finally finished, after doing 1 episode a day, doing 2 cameras around, commentating them all, doing a ton of work, doing a great job with it. Finally puts them all out, where I'm just here bringing my stuff and I do it all at once, and then it's all uploaded for everyone to see all at once. So I'm glad there's all this different types of content. Also the FFG stream, I think they're going well. I haven't watched much of it, but they're playing good cards, and when there's not a tournament game going on, they're playing new Worlds Collide cards, so check those out. I'm going to try to get on their stream. But yeah, right now we have Jason. Jason, congrats. What a great game. Scoot on in here. Tell me about how that game was from your point of view.
Alright, so this guy is 8-0. So
He was
top
8-0.
Yep. So big deal. I knew he had some crazy stuff in his deck, but I hadn't really heard what it was. So I'm just kind of building my board, playing my game, waiting for his big play.
Waiting for something.
Yeah, it never happened. So that's why I was hesitant to call Sanctum the last turn and reap for however many, because I was waiting for too much to protect board players. That kind of crazy stuff, but just never hit. So.
Yeah, really. He just didn't have the answers. We were talking about the Brend and the Dust Imps just kind of hanging out the whole game. And then your board just kept getting bigger and...
Yeah, I had poison for the Brend at any point, just to blow him up.
Oh, was that your way?
In my hand, yep.
We were
that's
talking...
the only way I have it unlocked in my hand as well, but I'm obviously not playing.
We were talking about how you were going to blow him up.
Yep, that's my only way is to poison him.
That takes 2 turns.
He whistling darts him twice, so he already had a damage.
Okay, very good. So we were talking about creative ways to get rid of him. I think actually you wouldn't have died then because of your own Armor Smith.
That's a good point.
Maybe. Yeah, the good thing that didn't happen.
Right.
But yeah, you just had free reign to go, okay, I'll go Sanctum again. And you even had the Hollowed Shield Anguish fights, which were total value for you. Colleen helped commentate the whole thing,
Oh boy.
and we weren't giving you too much of a hard time because you did play really well, and it was a tough. That was an annoying deck to play against too. He had double life ward. I don't know. You didn't see the second one.
Yeah.
2
he
life
showed that
wards,
thing.
2 subtle mauls, 2 library of babbles. My question to you is, when would have been the worst time for him to pop that life ward?
I actually think, I mean, obviously he was waiting for the board clear and then pop it and kind of lock me out,
Yep.
which makes sense. But I think not using it early and just relying on the draw of gateways. I mean, one of the reasons he lost. The turn after he played, I think I had a hand of 5 creatures. So I think anytime earlier, at least just gives him a little more tempo.
You were hand streaming very efficiently that whole game. You were playing a lot of great cards. I don't think you really held anything for too long. You played them as they came, which I love that playstyle. That's my move. Well, congratulations, you're top 4 now, and we'll do that round. Maybe we'll get you back on stream. I don't know. Good luck, man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, that was the top 8. Thanks again to Jason. Thanks again to Colleen. Thanks again to Team Reapout. Those are great guys. Everyone here has been a great guy. Been fantastic. And we'll try to be back for top 4, or I'll make some sort of announcement online and on this stream to whether or not that'll happen. Also similar for tomorrow. I'm going to try to also stream Saturday and Sunday for the Archon event. I'm also going to play in the Archon event, so there's a little bit of question mark about that. We'll figure out how that goes. I'll make posts about it. But anyways, thanks for anyone who's watching right now, and we'll be back soon. Thanks a bunch. All right, we're coming back for top 4. Ooh, not that button. This is round 4. Top 4. We have Andrew on the blue mat. Andrew wanted me to make sure that everyone knows his name has a D in it. I mean, I don't know what other letter it would be. And he is at... We had Andrew on the stream earlier. I think it was top 16 or something. R-O-O... That's spelled probably right. Rugquimp? Yeah, Hanti Rugquimp. I love that guy. And this is Devin at Maxima. Oh, Hunter, of course. Okay, Keyforge deck names. You do, you do. Whatever. I'm gonna make a. Okay, so we're starting. We're here. I'm here. I'm joined here with Freddie. Freddie was on my first stream of the weekend, and yeah, but now he's here casting. So we have quick games playing. Starting with the Tesmal just getting taken out by the Beam Buckler. I remember when Andrew played last, that Tesmal stuck around a little bit, but hasn't gotten a lot of value. It's more of just a must-kill target.
Yep, it's like a lot of cards in AOA where if it sticks around, great, but the real value is it forces your opponent to react, and they can't play optimally. They have to respond to what you're doing.
Right.
So.
I'm happy to see Andrew playing just as many cards as possible. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be real quick. You talk for a second.
Sure. Okay, let's see. So we have an Archimedes on the board. Ooh, with the Sutterkin, and I can't quite tell what that is, but ooh, this is a quick and a big board. So Devin's really putting on some pressure here.
That's a little better.
Knocks out Borden.
Oh, so this is just a scrappy, quick game already.
Yeah. We've got an Archimedes with a Sutterkin next to it.
And Tropic Swirl is so much value. It's 2 damage and 2. It's 4 damage and 2 amber almost every time.
It's hard to beat that. You can't ask for much more than that. That's a really, really strong card.
So let's slow down for a second because this game is going real fast. And now Andrew actually has a. Okay, I was gonna say, hey, Freddie, how do you take out the Sutterkin? Oh, but he chooses to take out the Archimedes. Instead of the Sutterkin.
Well, so Sutterkin's only going to be drawing 2 cards now. Probably you can see there's not a lot of Logos cards in hand, so there's not going to be a lot of Logos creatures on the board. So Sutterkin's not a huge threat, whereas getting rid of the Archimedes first means that at least this way you don't have to worry about the Sutterkin coming back quite as easily. I don't know what other sort of recursion there is, but maybe Andrew just thinks that he can deal with the Sutterkin now, but he doesn't want to have to worry about it later in the game.
I do really like the choice, though, to take out the 2 Logos creatures and just kind of accept the fact that he draws 2 cards. Mm-hmm. Taking out the Archimedes is a much more sticky threat, and taking it out with the Nerve Blast is exactly how that's supposed to go. Nerve Blast says kill a Dusk Witch, it says kill Archimedes. It should just basically say certain cards die, right? It doesn't do 2 damage, it just kills particular guys.
Yes.
Okay, so Andrew, we were watching him earlier. He won a fantastic game off of this Too Much to Protect in Brand. So he used it there, gives an extra amber from Brand, and then steals, I think it was 2 or 3 amber. But little secret for those of us watching this matchup, Andrew has a second Too Much to Protect in this deck.
Oh.
And I don't know if Devin knows that.
Oh, that's huge, because I certainly know that if I saw Too Much to Protect get played, I would feel much more comfortable about just rushing after it gets played.
Right?
So a second one, having that hit it could be very painful.
Since we've been watching the stream, I mean, I know that this is a potential threat, but we gotta. Devin might, overreap and get punished for it.
Right.
So I really want to see how how that plays out.
Yeah, especially in AOA, because my philosophy in AOA has pretty much always been you just keep rushing because the amber control is so limited. That being said, this is a top 4 deck, and top 4 decks, they have answers, and so maybe Devin's thinking about that, and he's preparing for the fact that he could get hit with something like Too Much to Protect, or maybe a Doorstep.
Look at these fantastic Mars creatures. None of these guys are staying home. These are all very efficient, very strong Mars creatures to have all on the table at the same time.
It's a scary lineup. That's a Resonator down there.
It's a Resonator. It's giving +4 key costs right now.
Yep, and it's next to a Collector Worm, which, I mean, obviously you want to get rid of Collector Worm, but it's really hard to get it to go anywhere too.
I have a question for you, Freddy. So Resonator says +2 Amber cost for each neighbor he has.
Right.
Currently, Andrew is at 8 Amber. Would it have been smarter for Devin to play the Collector Worm on the opposite side and let the Resonator make Andrew Forge at 8?
That's a really interesting point, and I think that's one of those next level plays where, yeah, maybe that's what you do, because sure, you're giving a key, but you're effectively causing your opponent to lose 2 Amber that they wouldn't have to lose otherwise. Maybe.
I think the scale tips back into Devin's favor. One, I mean, you don't want to let your opponent forge a key, because then you would be even on keys. But 2, Devin's holding 6 Shadows cards right now. I know one of them's a Nerve Blast, and there's a bunch of good ones in there, but...
So maybe then this is the right play, because it means that there's a lot of Amber to steal next turn. I didn't catch the hand, but if you got 6 Shadows cards, then yeah, I think actually this is probably the way to play it.
I think the way that it could backfire on Devin, or rather it could just go in Andrew's favor a little bit better, is if Andrew's able to get that Resonator off the table right now. He plays the Banish, and I bet you that Banish is for the much stickier, much harder to get rid of Collector Worm.
Right.
And now the Resonator is only threatening, that one neighbor, but Devin has complete control, like a Titan mechanic, over when and how many neighbors that card has. So.
Right. Yeah. So it's great for Andrew, but he's not forging this turn, and Devin has a turn in between, so his key cost might go back up to 10. So Blood Shard Imp. Okay, that changes the game.
Yeah, that thing doesn't stick around.
Okay, I've certainly had some games where it does. I think it depends, because right now Devin doesn't have a lot of really strong reap effects, it looks like. So it's a matter of, does he want a board that can reap, or does he just want to keep playing stuff out of hand?
He might be holding a Gamgee. I can't quite tell from this angle, but
okay.
What is of note is that the Blood Shard Imp is under the taunt.
It is.
But Devin has a Nerve Blast ready to go. And I really want to see who Devin chooses to take out with that Nerve Blast, because he has 3 real options.
He does. So I would say personally the Blood Shard Imp is a little bit scary. It's interesting here. Okay, so we've got
He's gonna play Shadows.
He's gonna play Shadows, of course. Yeah.
Sucker Punch. Okay.
Oh, okay. So he's got lots of options then. Sucker Punch, and then he can take out something else.
This is Tolas. That's not Spider. That's Tolas.
Yes.
That is every time you kill your opponent's guy, you get an Amber. So this is going to be a terrible play for Andrew.
Yep. That spot removal is just so brutal right there.
And Andrew was expecting to have these guys be at least relatively safe, but there's 2 direct kills. There's also a Ronnie and a Whistling Darts. The Whistling Darts won't trigger the Tolas itself, but its job is done. That is 2 Amber that Devin could have had, and notably, Andrew could have discarded those 2 guys and gotten an Amber off of Redlock.
He could have, yes, and instead he just gave his opponent. So that's a 3 Amber swing right there.
Yeah.
And now you've got a Resonator with so many creatures on either side. You've got to get rid of the Resonator itself. You can't just get rid of, last turn, get rid of the Collector Worm and you make your keys cost less. Now that Resonator is a huge problem.
Jim, real quick, we are like a table and 5 seats away. I've done plenty of testing, and I've got a bag in our way. There's entire insulation, especially with this loud convention. I've had plenty of tests where there's no advantages being given from our casting, but it is a bit of a janky setup. I'll probably post pictures of it later. Okay, so has Andrew forged a key yet? Not under the Resonator.
No, I don't believe he has. He's been stuck this whole time. I think at this point he just has to get rid of that Resonator, but this is scary. Do you know if he has any sort of big board wipe or anything that could knock that board out? Because
he's in the top 4, so we can assume that there's an answer in his deck. Here comes a Lamindra.
Oh.
That's a big hit.
That's yep, great play. That Resonator just got that much scarier.
So Andrew does have that. We know he has the second too much to protect, but there's also the question of, does he have tools to deal with this board? Because Devin is in complete control of this game.
Exactly. This is AOA at its best, where you build that board and then you have control of the game at that point. Your opponents can't really do much about it unless they have the specific answers, like the board wipe.
I think if Andrew could take out that Resonator, then that's enough of a kill for me to at least be happy. Sure, he wouldn't be ahead yet, but you have to kill the Resonator and then the Yancey Gang and the Umbra. If you can't kill an Umbra, you're in a bad spot.
You're in a very bad spot. But there's just so many high priority targets right here. You know, I'm sure he wants to go Dis here to trigger that Lash, but does he have Dis cards in his hand to answer anything? Andrew is definitely on the back foot here. He's got to play purely reactive at this point, and that's a scary spot to be in.
So last game, Andrew was very behind. It looked on the board at least.
Okay.
And he had a huge. The second too much to protect was enough to catapult him just quickly into the win. Here, I think you also need to kill the Resonator. It is an on-board tool that is costing him 4 amber per key. It stopped him forging at least twice. Like, remember when we were talking about what if you let him forge at 10 or at 8 instead of at 10? Right? What if you just never let him forge? That's probably a better strategy, and that's why Devin is sitting in the top 4.
It seems to be the best strategy right now. Yeah. You know, I just said I'm sure Andrew wants to trigger that Lash. Well, Devin's got a Lash plus an Amber that's just always in effect right now, and that Resonator is really the hero of this game. Andrew looks like he's in the tank on this one.
I wonder if Andrew is looking for an efficiency play, or if he's looking for an out to get back in.
Yeah, that's a good question, and you know, without knowing his deck, he's up against 12 Amber. I guess he probably doesn't have too much to protect, or he would be playing that.
Check discard pile. Andrew is in the tank.
Yep.
There's no Mimicry in that deck. He's not in the right houses to have a Mimicry.
Right.
Okay, here's a question. If Andrew has an unlocked gateway and a too much to protect in hand right now, which one do you play?
I think I go with the unlocked gateway because I can also trigger Lash, and
oh, the Lash.
I think that's you just like, if it were just the Lash, then the too much to protect is a better play. But when you can get your opponent down to 3 Amber instead of check next turn and clear the board, I think that gives you a fighting chance.
He goes into Sanctum. Oh, what if he has a doorstep? I don't think he does, but so he uses Golden Aura to use Tesmal to prevent Devin from doing one of his houses. I presume Mars, because he blinding lighted for shadows.
Ooh, so it's some decent board control. It's obviously not a board wipe, but
and he didn't play Lash or too much to protect. No Amber control that turn.
So now, you know, he's basically got to go Dis to Lash to stop that third key.
Do you know why he did that? That's actually a really good play. This turn was, I think, very smart by Andrew, because he knows that he has to win the game, not just stop this turn. So if he goes Dis and uses Lash, he draws no cards, or few cards, right? So he plays the Dis turn to go into Tesmal, and he plays the Sanctum turn to draw 2 more cards while still getting to use his Tesmal effect.
Yep.
He did prevent the Mars turn, so there's the unstunned Shadows board. And Andrew's really just trying to find the extra turn. He played the Lash here to stop losing for another turn. But
it looks like he's still only at 8 Amber though, so he's not even threatening that first key.
Wow, Resonator just sticking around.
That's so brutal. That was a sucker punch. Okay.
Keeps coming back. Well, now it doesn't, but it did.
All right. Well, I hope Andrew's got that too much to protect in his hand.
I think Devin is just playing like clean now, right?
He is.
Just make sure that you don't mess anything up.
He is. We've been talking a lot about what Andrew needs to do, but we should really point out that Devin has been playing a phenomenal game, and he's been playing. Oh, okay, Miasma. That's a great stall.
One more turn.
Yep.
Draw 1.
Draw 1. Ooh.
I mean, maybe Andrew still has the too much to protect Nerve Blast. It's in his deck.
It's a good point.
Like, the Miasma doesn't buy you another turn next turn, it just buys you a turn this turn to get even more Amber.
Right. It could end up working out for him. I think if I have Miasma and too much to protect here, that's a tough.
He had the Nerve Blast.
Oh, he had the Nerve Blast, but not the too
Good
much to protect.
game. Anyway, congratulations to Devin for making it to the finals of the sealed tournament with a very good deck, very good board presence, and a star resonator on the table.
What a game! What a card!
Congrats to Andrew, the last representative of New York in the finals. I was rooting for him.
Hey, you guys made it pretty far.
We did. We had 3 men in the top cut.
Really? Yeah.
But in Team Reapout, I think they had like 4 or 5. And I know that Devin's on Team Reapout, and I know that the other Team Reapout, Jason from last round, is also on the top 4 table, playing against
Joe from SAS, right?
Joe from SAS. So New York, SAS, Team Reapout in the top 4. Very tough field, very good tournament, very good game.
Super competitive.
And thanks again to my co-caster here, Freddie, for the game.
Yep. Thanks. It's been fun.
All right, I'll try to get a post-game interview, but just an update to everyone else watching. I don't think I'm going to get the last game. They're going to be on the finals table, and there's 0 chance that I get to cast that. Maybe I'll do a cast of it with Kiramode later once we're back at home and watching FFG's stream. Go check out their stream, because FFG Live or something, Cascade Games, I don't know. I have no idea what the link is, but I'm sure you can find it. And they've been streaming all day long, and even when there's not a tournament game running, they have games from the new Set Worlds Collide. They're playing that. Check them out, because I'm sure they're great. And maybe one day, there's a world where I get on that stream today. I don't think that's going to happen, but definitely check back tomorrow, where I'm going to be trying to cast the Archon tournament as well. But I'll also be playing in that, so wish me and Kiramode luck. Otherwise, check out Bounce and Deathquark. We are a podcast. We're a weekly competitive BDQ Keyforge podcast. We post an episode every week, about every Sunday. We should even have one coming out this Sunday, so don't miss that. Check out the stream, because you're already here. There's a bunch of games from Origins. There's a bunch of other games I did yesterday, and there should be a bunch more this weekend coming out. Check out the store if you want to get some cool shirts. I got some BDQ shirt. I know that Freddie has a BDQ mat. You can check all that out. All those links are in our descriptions of the Discord and such. It's all those links. Check out the Discord, the Facebook, the Twitter to get in touch with us, and check out when I'm streaming. I have links posted to that all the time. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again for coming by. I'm going to shut down this stream for now, and if I have any announcements, I'll post them, and maybe I'll bring it back up. But at the very least, check back in tomorrow for more games. Thanks so much. Freddie, got anything to say on the way out?
Nope, but I guess just I'm looking forward to a really good finals match. And,
yeah.
Thanks again for giving me the opportunity to cast.
All right, and thanks a bunch for everyone for watching. We'll see you all guys soon.